Testing 1 2. Testing 1 2. Okay, it's looking like it's gonna go through. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. So it's a little bit of a delay, even though I got ultra low latency. It'd be nice if this would go behind there somehow. Let me see here. That. And then won't do it. Bummer. Well, for a second there, it looked like you had a couple people on. Okay, let's see here. I think where is settings? I think that works. Ba, 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 ba. Let's see here. Alright, where is the key? I have to go all the way back in there. Looking like it. Okay, let me see here. Get shareable link. Boom. Yeah, I talk to myself a lot. Okay. Groups. Oh, there we go. Okay, so there's looks like there's two people there. Can you hear me talking? Okay, we got 4 people on, or 3. I don't know. I forget how to read that. So today we are going to be doing Aganorsa leaf. Oh, this is okay. I think I'm just going to do that. Make sure that everybody can hear me. So Aganorsa leaf, Casa Fernandez, and this is the Toro, Aganorsa leaf Habano Toro, which is 6x52. And then of course this is the Aganorsa leaf Signature Series. So I'm not sure if I'm going to smoke this one too, but I'm going to have it out there and go from there. So what else we got going on here? Lighter, punch. So this is, I've brought this up before in other live streams, but this is the perfect punch. I'm going to go, let's transition this here. Let's go scene 2. Minus. Yes. And okay, there we are. So this is the perfect punch. Anyway, this is 6 of 13. Rod sent me this thing. I've been showing this on a few Instagram posts and stuff like that. People have asked me about it. So here it is right here pretty much. So I'm going to be punching my cigars today. So this is the prototype. There's like 13 of them made. He had an issue with the blades. He wants to get them thinner and sharper, and they're already really sharp. So I don't know how good he's going to do it, but anyway, whatever. So normally I'll just set that down there like that and then just punch my cigar. So there it is there. Isaiah and I don't know, Tuck Cigar, how you guys doing? Good to see you guys on here, or see you guys chatting. Audio's good, that's great, awesome. So gonna be smoking some Aganorsa leaf today. You guys gonna be able to smoke anything? I'm not sure. If you are, great. If not, sorry to hear that. So yeah, I've been wanting to do these on Monday and Tuesday. Yesterday I was in Reno, actually, so I wanted to do a live stream from Reno, but the smoking rooms there, they just like a month ago stopped having smoking rooms in Reno. So otherwise I would have done a live stream like this, which would have been pretty cool. So anywho, gonna use my perfect punch here to punch this thing. I think I'm gonna go with this is a 6x52. With the middle punch here. And these blades are, I mean, Rod wants to get them sharper, but I mean, gosh darn, they're pretty sharp as it is. So I don't know how much sharper he wants to do it. He said 15, I don't know, 15 something or other. There you go. And then all you got to do now is just, boop, plunk that in there, and then it comes right out. So pretty awesome. Don't make the mistake of leaving your stuff on the end there. Yeah, nice open draw. Okay, well, there's 5 of us on here. Here we go. Gonna light this sucker up. So I'm doing a little experimenting today with the slideshow in OBS. See how that rolls. But the thing is I would like the slideshow to be bigger on there, but it's not doing it. So I worked out the kinks on the latency. 3 seconds is about as good as it's going to get for the latency on here, but that's good enough for me. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, I like these Aganorsa Leaf. Actually, these Habanos I like these quite a bit. These are pretty good. They're a little bit punchy in the beginning, but then they really smooth out and they mellow out, and they become just a really nice cigar as it burns down past the first half inch or quarter of an inch. So where you guys at, Isaiah? Tuck Cigar, where you guys from? Where are you guys at? State, city, country, area? Where you guys at? I guess I'm never gonna know. Canada, okay. East, west, central Canada? East, okay. Yeah, I got relatives out east, in Toronto, or TO, I guess, is the correct kind of thing, where people say TO. Yeah, the slideshow is kind of bugging. Not liking that. I think I'm going to change that up. Let's see here. Let's do here. Like that. And let's add an image. Okay. Huh. Why is it not coming through? It was doing it the other day. That is bizarre. Huh, that's weird. That is just bizarre why I can't get that to go in there. Oh well. No, I don't have a Raz 50 cab. I've had quite a few over the years, but I've just seemed to smoke them all. So, but yeah, 50 cabs are kind of hard to come by these days. Let's see here. Image with stream OBS. Oh yeah, that's right. So I gotta do this and push it up. There we go. Okay. Hey, I'm learning this thing. Okay, so we're gonna fit this to screen. Like so. And then we're gonna go this up. There we go. There we go. Alright. Now I'm cooking with gas. I'm just curious why the ribbons would be different from year to year. I can send you pics if you want. Yeah, go ahead. Dude90077 at gmail.com. I mean the ribbons with the 50 cab that are wrapped around the cigars. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good question. So it's down in the comments, but just DDE. There you go. It doesn't matter. You can send it whenever you want. To be quite honest. Yeah. I'm probably not going to look at it now. I'll look at it later. But yeah, and do landscape mode with the picture too, so it's a big picture. Do landscape mode. Or like just, use the phone and landscape like that. Yeah, no problem. So that, are they completely different ribbons? That's pretty odd. And for what year were the boxes? So what you need to do then is when you send the pictures, you need to tell, like send a picture of the box that it came in too, right? So send a picture. This is getting kind of very complex, but take pictures of the box that there, or the cabinet, with the the bottom and the top, and then the ribbon that's inside there too. So these are all from 2019. Is what you're saying? They're from 2019? I mean, that could just be a question of like they switched something over and it took time for them to, because they, the when they started going to the, so yours is different from 2019, correct? Right. So it could be a question of them just like I'm gonna do a shameless plug here for a second. That they ran through the ribbons that they were using before, and then they started doing a new ribbon on there to wrap the cigars. Is probably what happened. I would imagine that that's what's going on. Because I mean, when they went to, they went from the larger tax seal that didn't have that verification stuff on it, and to the smaller tax seal. Um, there was a kind of a crossover there. I think that was like what 2008 is when they went over to it, but you could still see the different. They had both tax. They used both tax seals, and they actually put the. I've seen where they put the smaller tax seal over the big one, and so they pretty much there's no waste over there. So if they have something that they have created or whatever, they're going to use all that stuff up before they go into using the other stuff, is what they're going to do. So I could see that happening, something like that. You can still send pictures. That'd be great. Yeah, so this thing here now, I mean, just kind of nice. It's got a nice little bit of spice on the tongue. And that kind of punchiness in the beginning is kind of settled down. Yeah, okay, so you're just sending pictures from your 2020 ribbon, but you don't have any pictures of the 2019 ribbons, is what you're saying. You just have the 2020. I'll see if I can dig up an old box of. I mean, usually I just throw all that stuff away. I mean, it just. I know people that just have boxes and boxes all over the place, but I'll see if I can find something. I might. I'm trying to minimize my waste or minimize my hoarding. Where is Oh, I don't need Havana's verification code. I just wanted to. Okay, if it's 2019, 2020, you can just do. Just send the all in one or whatever it is, and just do 2019, 2020, or just let so I know which is which. That's all. Yeah, so that picture back there is from Cohiba Atmosphere, the terrace out there. Oh, it's going to be an intimate one today. Maybe it says that we have 5 concurrent viewers right now. Now we have 6, okay. Down to 5. Yeah, so anyway, I've had people ask me why I run a vintage cigar underwater. I figured I might as well put the link to the video here. There it is. So, oh, and another thing too, I messed up. Someone actually mention the fact that they watched the replay of the stream. So there was in the last stream I did an error. So I'm going to correct that now. There we go. Because I said Philip Shervington was the one that had the video about Macanudo, and so it wasn't Philip Shervington. It was Derek Harris. And where is the little, because he has a 7-minute, yeah, here we go. So I am going to, I think I just do that. Copy. Okay, so this is the link to the creation of Macanudo. And it's a little 7-minute video on there where Nick Wing is talking with Derek Harris about the creation of Macanudo and all of that kind of stuff. So there it is there. Cigar has a nice earthiness to it, but it's also got some like there's like a nice coffee note in there, bit of a sweetness, and it's just like a very heavy finish on the palate, which is nice. on here. It's a very lingering finish. So I'm getting that coffee in the retro and on the palate as well. And then it's got kind of a nice bit of an oily finish too. So this is really definitely a full finish on the palate here with this cigar. But as far as it goes for what strength wise, probably about, I mean, nicotine wise, I don't know. It's not really that punchy nicotine wise. I'd say like about a medium to medium plus nicotine wise. But the strength of flavor in this cigar is really excellent. I mean, it lingers, it stays there on the palate and in the nose a long time. And it's quite enjoyable. And it's more of, it's got that, it's a richer cigar. This is a richer cigar here, definitely, with that coffee and that, it's just like very bold on there. Yeah, I picked up 5 of these just to try them out, and I like the Toro, the Habano Toro. I like this size cigar. I mean, I don't really like a bigger ring gauge cigar per se, but as far as it goes for this blend and the way that this one smokes, this one does quite well. These ones here too, these Aganor's Elise, the Signature Series, are nice as well. I really like these. I tend to like, I think these are the natural, right? I think these are the natural, and the Maduro have the silver foil on them. And I tend to like these a little bit better than the Maduro, but they're both a really good cigar. I like these quite a bit as well. They're very good. Does anybody else have any other questions about stuff or whatever it is? So I'm probably moving forward, I think, here. I'm going to be doing some vintage stuff moving forward here. Probably in the next month or two, I'm going to probably start doing a few more vintage cigar videos. Min Ronnie's going to send me some cigars that I'm going to review. And I don't know what they're going to be, but they're going to be definitely probably 20 plus years old or older. And so I'm looking forward to that. And yeah, he emailed me today, and I need to talk with him on the phone and do that. Just been really busy with work now lately, though, too. It's been crazy. And Denver was just like slammed. The last couple of days, they were just totally full of just tons of snow. Wonder if I could do that. Let me see here. I think I can. There was literally there was I think I can do that one. Yeah, this is pretty amazing. I think I got the amount of snow on there. There we go. It's kind of blurry. let's see here. Let's add this in now. So that's after I got there, after the snowstorm hit, and you can see that the snowbank that they had up there. They had some. They had this huge. Yeah, actually, I just saw the email here. Let's see here. Yeah, that works. Perfect. Oh, you didn't even need to. I mean, that's good. Yeah, I can look at the band right there around them. Yeah, and these are from 20. Yeah, 2020. Yeah, I see them. Yeah, you did it. You did just fine. You did a good job on that one. Perfect. Yeah, no problem. Like I said, I just think it's just something where, yeah, once you get the send me the band from 19, I can. But you can go to a good place to get information. Is there's a Facebook group out there. Let me see here. Groups. Let me see here if this is going to work. Here's the link to the group. The fake detective of counterfeit cigars. That's a Facebook group there, and you can post stuff in there, and you can go over to that group. Let me see if it's going to pop up. Yep, it does. So you can go in there and you can post stuff in there, and people will answer your questions on that as well. It's a good group to kind of put stuff into over there, and then people will definitely. There's a lot of people on that group, and there's a lot of people that are constantly getting cigars. And if you post this stuff over there with the ribbon and with a question, I'm sure some people will come up with some answers. Gonna be a small crowd today. I know. You're the only one. It says there's 6 concurrent viewers, so there's a few people that are watching. They're kind of lurking, I guess. I don't know. Nobody feels like typing. I know it's kind of tough when you're typing and stuff like that, so it is what it is. Let me take a look at that. Yeah, so that, yeah, it doesn't say Habana on the bottom, right? And the 2020 cab does. Yeah, like I said, they just probably changed it up and just added something in there. And they just, when they used it up, then they went to the new thing, is what they did. That just makes sense to me. That they wouldn't just throw something away. So they would just keep using the same thing up until it's over, and then they start doing the new one. That's my thoughts on it. Yeah, just tried kicking that ash off too. It's just like, just solid. Yeah, your 2020 box. I mean, it looks legit to me. I mean, you got. Did you run the? Here, let's do this too. Uh, 60924. 60924. Let's go over to. Oh, gosh darn it. Habanos SA is taking over. Yeah, so you check the serials over at Habanos SA. Yeah, I mean, if it checks and it says it's a legit on there, I mean, I'm assuming by looking at the pictures, it looks like a legitimate box. When you're looking at the factory code on the bottom of the box, you know, it has a 20 in there that looks like it's superimposed over something else. Looks like they might have, I don't know, that stamp is getting a little old or whatever at the 20. It's just getting a little bit used. So, yeah, to me, I mean, it looks like a legit box, but it's just kind of weird on the bands and stuff like that. It's funny because there's so many eyes looking at things now with cigars. It's pretty incredible how people just pick stuff out right away. And it's pretty crazy. Let's see if that'll do a slideshow in there. Oh man, it's fine. All the questions are great. Good stuff. Yeah, actually, let me see if I can. Let's see here. Download. Oh, it's only going to do the one JPEG. You really can do a whole. Well, maybe I'll do it in here. There we go. I can download the whole thing. There we go. We'll go into downloads. Okay, there we go. Let's see if I can, I'll pop that in there in the slideshow. There we go. There. We got you up and running on that thing there. Awesome. Yeah, so that looks like a legitimate box there. Nice looking cab. Have you smoked any out of that yet? Have you tried any of those cigars yet? Oh, about a week ago. Okay. What do you keep your cigars in? Do you put them in like a you got like a Winador or Tupperware or Humidor, or what do you keep your cigars in? Cabinet. Okay. So you've got quite a few cigars in there. Is it one of those standing ones that are about 4 or 5 feet tall, pretty wide? How do you humidify that thing? Do you like use Bovedas or beads or cigar oasis or something like that? I know the last stream I was on, people had a lot of information on different things that they use. Oh, really? Okay, I got to check that out. Aristocrat humidors, huh? Aristocrat humidor. Let me see. Wow. Okay, so they stopped making them in 2019. I just read that. That Half Wheel put out a little article. Yeah, so you got it before they stopped doing it. You got the humidor and the humidification all wrapped up into one. So that's cool. Yeah, it says you basically set it and forget it. That's cool. What is it? 1734 and add 32. So it's like 69 degrees. So it's 69 degrees. So that's perfect. About 69 degrees, 67, 69 degrees. So yeah, you don't need to worry about any kind of heat or anything like that. It's going to be one constant temperature, which is nice. All you have to do is just worry about the humidity in there. That's good. Are you in the Facebook group that I just started, that Smoking Vintage Cigars Facebook group? If not, just go over there and you can find it. It's the Facebook group, and then join, and then post your cigar pictures in there. I think it's up to about 120 members now in the group. It's a private group, but you can find, anybody can find it, but you can't see the posts. Yeah, just go over there and ask to join the group. I'll let you in the group, and yeah, post your pictures in there, and you can probably post stuff like this in there too. And there's some members in there that would probably put some comments on that as well. Yeah, these cigars that I'm posting now in the slideshow are from the 50s. I'm not sure what year they are, but they're around the 50s, pre-embargo. Got these along with a couple other boxes that are pre-embargo. I'm waiting to take them over to Hong Kong, but something happened on the way to Hong Kong. Yeah, 63, 64, 65. I mean, that's good. And then your ambient temperature is going to be right around what, 66 to 69, which is going to be fine. I mean, I don't see any problems with that at all. Yeah, lower humidity, something like that. That's good. Yeah, you don't want to get too much more above that, I think, personally, but that's my own personal opinion. So I take it you just got an alert on YouTube, and then you popped over there and got in on the stream, on the live stream. Yeah, I just do the quick one, right? So you double it and add 32. So that's on the normal thing. Hey, Chris, how's it going, man? Yeah, doing Tuesday today. I know Monday's better for you, but I was in Reno, so I figured I'd do it today. Yeah, so I mean, that's like a close guesstimation on it. It's not exactly. Yeah, so 32, 32 and 32, 64. So for us, I would mean 64, right? But you're 60.8. Yeah, so you're okay. So you're down between 60 and 63 degrees, and then 63 to 65 humidity is fine. That's perfect. That's great. I mean, that's the hardest thing for me in California too, with the stuff that I have. I have to really worry about temperature because we have such fluctuations here with temperature. So I mean, it can be kind of wonky that way, where I don't have like a set thing, because the house can be hot or cold or whatever, depending. Not too cold, although this winter's been relatively cool. Yeah, no problem. I'm hoping that once we get quite a few, I'm smoking the Aganorsa leaf Habano Toro today, which I, this is a nice little gem of a cigar, I think personally. But I think what what the we got 120 members in that Facebook group now, and then moving forward, hopefully it's going to get up to quite a few members. So hopefully, uh, as things move forward on that group, people can post stuff in there. Like you have these questions and stuff, which are valid questions, which are pretty cool. And so you could post that stuff in there, and we get enough eyes on that and enough people in there, we can have a good discussion on things like that, which is good. That's one thing that I've been wanting to do. I wanted to do it on the Facebook page, but the group seems to be the better way to go for everybody. So that's why I did it. And someone said, "Hey, do a group." So I'm like, "Okay." And it seems to me we're getting more interaction with the group than the page. So I'm just a knucklehead though, so I like I just kind of did it, and but I'm asking questions and getting input from people so that things can be better. That's the whole thing. Just sharing and disseminating information, right? I mean, that's what this is all about. It's a great hobby so that people can talk about stuff. You saw something on there and you had a question, and it's great. So hopefully moving forward with this group, it'll be better. More and more people in there. So yeah, it's like, and right now this thing, there's a bit of a kind of a caramely sweetness that's coming up on this cigar too as well. It's a really nice, pleasant cigar, and it doesn't really blast your nose, even though it's a New World cigar. It doesn't it doesn't blast the crap out of your nose, and it smokes quite well. So I'm pretty impressed with this cigar. Yeah, Smoking Vintage Cigars, the Facebook group. Yeah, it's a great cigar, man. It really is. I had a little issue with the humidor in LA. I was getting a little bit too much humidity in there, and these were getting a little moist, so I had to dry box them for a little bit of time, and then I worked on the humidity up there to kick that down. So now, because these were smoking a little rough in the beginning, but once I got the humidity down on these cigars, it started smoking really good. Yeah, let me see here. I could probably, let me see here. Let's go to here and groups here, and I think, let me see if this works. Yep. Okay, here we go. So this, I'll put the link in here and you can just pop over. Okay, link. And I believe it's down in the comments section too. Oh, the cab, aging that cab? I mean, it just depends on your taste preference on that. Um, so 2020, those cigars, what, are a year old. So I would say, it just depends on your taste. They're gonna definitely, with age, they're gonna get more rounded, fuller. They're gonna wick out some of the unpleasant stuff that, for me personally, moving forward on that. So you go 3 to 5 years on that cab. Uh, Probably closer to the 5 year because cabs seem to age a little bit slower than say boxes and singles that are just out. So go about between 3 and 5 years. It's going to start really developing some better flavors, I think, moving forward. But it just depends. Like I said, there's a lot of people that like to smoke fresh cigars, or um, they like to smoke cigars that are a bit more punchy, have a quite a bit of girth to them. So as you age the cigars, they're going to definitely lose a lot of that punchiness, and they're going to become smoother, more well-rounded. So it just depends on your taste and what you like to smoke on that. So Boulevard Royal Corona was a little underwhelming. It was smooth but not much flavor. Every once in a while, the retro hell was hitting at what a good total Corona. Yeah, Royal Corona should be. Yeah, yeah. The cab ages better. Definitely, they do. But like going out just to like start getting in the first period of aging, so to speak, right? You're gonna get in there about 3 to 5 years. You're gonna start out with that, and then as you move forward in the cab, like I said, it's closer to the 5 year mark where you're gonna start really probably seeing stuff because the cabs age slower. That's what my experience has been, and what other people would talk about with cabs and stuff like that. So, um, but like I said, it all depends on your personal taste. So, I mean, Mark Twain, he just smoked everything. And nobody liked to smoke his cigars because they were so terrible. That's what I read. So, but and like the Spanish market, they seem to smoke a punchier cigar. I mean, back in the day, I don't know what that's still holding true, but it seems that it might be. So, yeah. Well, we're up to 11 concurrent viewers now. So we've doubled from what it's been going the past. Oh, there's no time on here. Usually it shows the amount of time, and okay, there we go. So I've been on this thing for an hour. Oh, that's what's going on. Okay, there we go. Okay. Ah, okay. That's good working from home. Yeah, no problem. Yeah, just click the link and go over there and do a member request, and then I'll let you in. Take care. I was gonna comment on that, Monty. Yeah, I saw the picture of that. Yeah, you were getting your dark fruits, which you like that. Yeah, I think moving forward too. I mean, I think a lot more people are gonna just stay working from home as well. It's just that's what it's gonna be like, most definitely. But I can't. That's definitely, yeah, not me. And the planes were, well, I mean, we had that weather. So I did a trip where, what is it, 2 days ago I went to Reno, laid over in Reno for 24 hours, and then I worked a flight out to Denver. And that was just, boy, that was a circus out there. I put a picture up of the snow that was on the tarmac, and it was crazy. Yeah, I wish I could, right? Yeah. Or just work virtually, do a virtual thing. Ain't gonna happen, unfortunately. Got to get on that plane and move those people. Yeah, and boy, going into Denver out of Reno, I mean that flight was delayed, and then we got there. We land in Denver, and then the guys like the captain's like taxiing around all over the place because the gate was full. I had a plane in there, and then they had to get the plane out of there, and all these people like we landed. If we would have just been able to taxi right to the gate, a lot of the people that were connecting to all these flights would have just been able to get off, boom, and get to their gate. But of course, we had that issue with the gate not being available, and so we parked at the gate probably around, I think, close to 6 o'clock. Then everybody was like scrambling off the plane. But the good thing though was that I think a majority, because there was the plane held, I think we had 112 people or 124 people on the plane, and 90 of them were connecting to a flight. So out of the connectors, the people that were connecting, they held the plane for about, oh, let me see, there was probably about 12 different destinations that people were connecting to, and I think they held the plane out at 9 out of the 12. So that was good. We were able to get people going to the places they needed to get to. So, and they were like, it was like the last flight of the day. So we had, they had to get them on the plane. So it was, I felt good. I mean, it sucked just sitting there because we couldn't get into the gate, but, all you can do is just make announcements and let people know. I think that's the biggest thing, the issue with people on a plane too, is they just want to know, if they're connecting somewhere or whatever it is, they just want to know, like, hey, are we going to make it there? Am I going to make my connection? Blah, blah, blah. So I try to be as forthcoming as possible with the information that I get. And of course, with the technology that we have today, because we have an iPhone that's issued to us, and I can check stuff on there. And so I was able to look up stuff on my phone in real time and see that they were holding flights for certain people that were connecting there. And I can see the people in the plane where they're connecting and where they're going to as well, which is kind of nice. Yeah, and I think the pilots need to actually, because they're not big talkers, and they don't, and I don't know whether it's because they're busy up there in the flight deck or whatever it is. And so, it would be nice if the pilots got on there and were a little bit more chatty with like what's going on. Like, you know, because we landed and we were taxiing to the gate, and I'm like thinking, okay, and Denver Airport, it's just a big long concourse. I mean, it goes from gate 7 to gate 80. So we're going along, and I can look out I was looking out the little window from my jump seat, and it was like gate 28, gate 30, gate 30, and we were supposed to park at gate 36. So we get to gate 36, and we're still going. We didn't turn, and like he went all the way out to gate 50, and I'm like, oh, did they change the gate, or what did they do? And so, we get out to like gate 58, and then we stopped. And it would have been nice if the captain would have like gotten on there and said, hey, the reason that we're doing this is that we don't have a gate yet, and I have to taxi out to an area where we can sit the plane where we're not blocking anything, so we can go back to the gate where we're supposed to land, where we're supposed to park at. And so it would have been nice. I mean, they were a little bit they did a little bit of communication up in the front, but the onus was pretty much on me. And of course, you got all these anxious people on the plane that are trying to find out information or whatever it is. But the thing about it is too is the United app is pretty good. Like there was some people connecting to Hartford, Connecticut, and I got on the app and I pulled up the flight number to Hartford, and it said, oh, sorry about the delay on our flight, but we're making some people's day because we're holding the plane for these people to connect to Hartford. And so it said it right there in the app, on the United app. So if people just looked at that thing and pulled up their flight number and refreshed it on the ground, it would take care of a little bit of their angst that they have. But I know all people can't do that, and not a lot of people know what's going on, so then I have to communicate as best as possible. So it's getting a lot better, though. It definitely is. I actually had a few people getting off the plane and that actually said, hey, you did a good job, trying to communicate with everybody, And people were actually laughing because, like, I'm not good at making announcements. I don't work the lead. I don't work the lead that often. So I'm out of practice with my announcements and stuff. So people were kind of cracking up a little bit with some of my announcements. But like I said, I talk to people on the plane like I'm talking right now. I mean, I'm not like, a very strict person with whatever it is and so on and so forth. So I just try and talk to people like people. I'm not trying, so I just try and just disseminate as much information as I can and move forward with that. Yeah, it was cool. The guy and he was actually, so we were giving out these snack boxes because I was working first class, and it was the same guy that didn't get his choice of snack box because I ran out of the select. We had a tapas snack box and a select snack box, and I handed out the last. You can't see me? Oh, okay. How about now? Yeah, okay. So maybe it was because I got a camera hooked up to this thing doing this. So it's streaming over. It might be getting a little warm. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, formal is the correct nomenclature with that, definitely. I'm not a formal kind of a person. I mean, you've been watching my videos for a while now, and I'm not a formal person. So, yeah. But I mean, I don't know. I just think that people just want to be talked to like people and not like. I mean, no, we have a lot of rules now, I mean, the biggest thing is, hey, I have to wear a mask on the plane the whole time. So that's an issue, and that's something that, I'm the messenger. You don't kill the messenger. I have to enforce certain rules that are rules, and so there's nothing that I can do about that. So if there's something that I can do something about, where just talk to people in a just an informal manner and just kind of disseminate information, it works. I think it works better. So just glad to be home, man. It was just like we were delayed, and I'm used to it by now. I mean, I'm just so used to, especially when you have weather conditions and so on and so forth, that it's just, it is what it is. I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. You can't really do anything other than just try and do the best you can. I think people forget that, you're on an airplane and there's only like so much you can do. I mean, you're locked in a tube, and you're going from point A to point B, and they board us with certain amounts of food and drink and so on and so forth. But at the end of the day, if we run out of something, it is what it is. But if you do fly United, the tapas box that this guy got that actually gave me the compliment, that is a better box than the Select, in my opinion. The tapas has little olives in there with some hummus and bruschetta with crackers in there with almonds, and it's a nice little box, and it's fairly healthy, and it gives you enough to kind of quench your hunger, right? The Select box is more just has different stuff in there. I can't off the top of my head what it is, but to me personally, the tapas is definitely better than the Select. Yeah, I had a guy on a plane, so we have different levels of passengers, of course, because yeah, the tapas is good. So we have different levels of passengers, and I can see that in my iPhone. Like if we have, so the top, okay, you get the little card and you're a member of the club or whatever it is, and then as you fly your miles, you go up the ladder. So the top of the ladder, we have global services, right? Global services, you have to be invited to be that, and you have to fly so many miles, but it's not necessarily the amount of miles that you fly, it's other things that are, they have their criteria. Nobody knows exactly what global services is. So global services, people that fly a lot, and then they are invited into this special club. So below that is 1K, and then we have gold, and then silver, and then bronze, and then global member, right? So as you go up the ladder. And so I had a guy who was, I think he was global services or 1K, I can't remember, and we were serving a hot meal, and I walked by the guy, and he was like, somehow I didn't get his order right. So I handed out all this stuff, or whatever, and then he came up and then he said, well, I think he was global services. Anyway, and I'm like, I'm sorry, I thought you were sleeping or whatever, blah, blah, blah. And so he made a big stink about it because he's global services and he didn't get his meal choice and all this other kind of stuff and so on and so forth. So, but that guy, I ended up able to, because we had some other meals and stuff that were in the for the crew. So I gave him my crew meal, and then I ate what he was gonna eat, what I was gonna give to him. But he ended up getting that, and he was happy. But yeah, people can be kind of strange, man, especially when they're in these various levels of a club. So it's crazy. But I just try, I know you can't, what is it? You can please some of the people some of the time, all the people some of the time, but you can't please all the people all the time. So, anyway, it is what it is. Hey, Chad, where are you at? It's just early afternoon here. Oh, okay. Hey, your weather's been great out there, man. You've been in like the 60s in Indiana. I think you got like some kind of a storm front moving across. It's going to get there pretty soon, but you've had some nice weather out there lately. It feels like evening, right? That's what it felt like for me yesterday, working out to Denver and then deadheading from Denver to. Oh, really? It rained and froze? Okay. Yeah, my girlfriend was talking with one of the guys from Rolls Royce, and they're in Indianapolis, and I think this is like maybe last week. Yeah. And he was saying that it was warmer in Indy than it was in California. I think we were in the high 50s in California, and Indianapolis was like 63 degrees. Yeah. Well, spring's coming, right? Just around the corner. I think what the 21st or 22nd of this month is the beginning of spring. So, better weather ahead, I hope, and no freezing rain. Yeah, see? That's freezing my ass off at 59 degrees. We're such sissies out here in California, man. It gets like in the 50s and we're like cold. It's not as bad as Hawaii, though. I mean, in Hawaii, if it's in the 60s in Hawaii, you can tell the difference between the tourists and the locals, because if it's in the 60s, the locals will be wearing like pants with jackets and everything like that, and the tourists will be in shorts. Yeah, you got what is it? The storm system that's moving across over to, I think, Dulles. They're going to get slammed here pretty quick. And they're going to get slammed pretty quick. And I think that the winds kind of carry that up to you guys in New York, sort of. Yeah, it's been kind of weird weather. Like Denver was just crazy. I mean, that storm was there for 2 days basically, and it took a long time to get there. Yeah, well, California. I'm gonna be moving to Boise, Idaho here, probably within this year. I'm gonna be out in Boise. Little change of pace. But I was actually looking at the weather when Denver was getting slammed with all that stuff, and Boise was still nice and sunny. It was in the 50s, but it was still not too bad. I think they're going to get a little bit of snow or something like that coming up this week. Been kind of keeping track of the weather there. Okay, so you were like, I guess, what is it, west of Boise? Out that way? I'm not sure. My geography in Boise's not that good in Idaho yet. Really? Okay. Well, yeah, that's extreme temperatures, right? It's like boiling hot and then it gets cold. Like the desert is just like crazy mad weather like that. And you get what Iraq gets those huge sandstorms too, right? I mean, you get those sandstorms that last for like, I don't know, a couple of days or whatever it is, where the sand's just blowing. Is that true? Yeah, there's some kind of a weather cycle. Oh, that sounds wonderful. So if you're smoking a cigar out there, it's extremely earthy. More than likely. But up in Boise, in that area there, it's called the banana belt or something like that. The climate is like it's like a microclimate of where it's hotter or it doesn't get it's more temperate than say other parts of Idaho, and then you go over to what Montana, where it gets colder. Hey Chad, are you in the Facebook group? Yeah, we were looking at Austin too. We're starting to look at Austin as well. But I think we're going to go to Boise. There you go. Okay. No worries. Just had someone on earlier that was asking some questions about uh, some bands on some cabinets and stuff like that. So with that group, trying to outside is best, yeah. Um, so trying to hopefully it's going to grow, and then as things progress, people can post questions and stuff like that in the group. And if you have enough members in there, it'll probably be good for people to get information. Yeah, where I'm at now, it's pretty much the traffic is pretty much back to normal. I mean, it was pretty nice for a while though. The traffic was really mellow here because with everything going on, so it was actually kind of nice driving around. But as things have opened up, it's starting to get back to the way it was before. So that's about time to go. Well, there's a bunch. The last stream that I had, there was a bunch of people that talked about where to get stuff, and then I did a video. Did you watch that video that I did on YouTube? me see here. That was not it. It is. Let me see here. Oh wait, in here. And then here it is. Yeah. So there's a lot of options out there with stuff, and so and then there's some ones that didn't get mentioned, like Monte Fortuna. I think I did I Havanas in there as well. And there's Puro Express, Cigars of Habanos. Friends of Habanos has stuff that they sell too as well. So, I mean, those are the ones that I mentioned. And I don't like to recommend anything because, then I'm kind of like, recommending stuff. I just kind of like just to go through stuff that's out there. Okay, I did mention I Havanas. Yeah, but Monte Fortuna is another one that people talked about as well. So, but I mean, Chris, you've used I Havanas, right? And they're pretty decent. So you can recommend to Chad that, right? There you go, Chad. I Havanas. And there's a website out there. Now this isn't comprehensive, but let me see here. If you go over to here, cigar analysis, so here's the website, cigar analysis website, and you can go over there, and that will give you fake. It'll give you fake cigar shops there. Just click on that link there, and I think they do a fairly decent job of updating that stuff too as well. Yeah, no worries. And I think Dr. Joe, if you go over to the Dr. Joe YouTube channel, he was, I don't know, I can't remember where he was buying cigars from as well. He was buying a bunch of stuff online that he was showing on his YouTube channel before he stopped doing it. And they might even actually have a website where they promote whatever it is that he was getting his cigars from. Yeah, he mentions, right? I mean, he does. I watched his stuff where he talks about, but I think that it's actually in the description. There's a website that he was going to buy a bunch of Cuban cigars as well online. Yeah, I wish he was still doing videos. I watched that one where he was talking about how somebody went to Cuba and they were saying a bunch of bad stuff about Cuba, and then he had it all written down on paper. Did a very nice rant on disproving the things that the guy said. Um, it was pretty funny. Buy most of your cigars when you travel, aside from auctions. Yeah, I do that. And so when I'm abroad, I haven't been able to do much abroad lately, so I've been kind of stuck with stuff. And so, but I just got an email from Imran Nee. So he's going to be taking pictures of stuff and sending me some cigars to review uh, eventually. I don't know when exactly, when that's going to happen, but it should happen, I would say, within a month or two. So I'll be doing some vintage stuff out of Minrani's Humidor, I think, pretty soon. I'm hoping. So I just want to hopefully be able to take a trip over to Hong Kong. Yeah, they were what they. I'm not. Biden hasn't done any reversal on that. I think Trump actually reversed that. I think, because Trump at the end of his administration reversed the thing where you can't bring it through now, and so I'm not sure about bringing stuff through right now. I don't know. I mean, I think pretty much though most people are just kind of like, I don't think that they're really enforcing a lot of that, but I'm just thinking off the top of my head. Don't take that as the gospel. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's just things have been really messed up lately, so it's been a long year. Hopefully, we're going to get back to some sort of normal. I think people are starting to travel more, so that's a good indicator. All the flights I was on the last couple of days were full, but I think part of that was because of the weather. Yeah, I've got some cigars sitting in London right now that I need to bring back. I got like 4 boxes of cigars sitting there in a humidor in London that I just need to get to London and I need to come back with them. And they're all uh, they're like from I think some were from the 80s and 80s and 90s. So yeah, I can't wait to get over there. Yeah, I mean the main thing too, if you're gonna order online, is just get a sealed box. Yeah, what I have done, like, because when we were doing the Smoking Gorilla Lounge and everybody was in the lounge and stuff like that back in the day, I was able to, get together a bunch of guys and we would all put in, you know, we all put in a certain amount of money, and then I used that money to buy the cigars from the auction, and then I went over to London and picked them up. The only problem with me going over on my own dime to London is the fact that the exit tax, I believe right now, to leave London is $165 just to leave the UK. And then, of course, I have to spend the night there and, have to fly in, spend the night, grab my stuff, and then leave. So it's a bit of an undertaking. So, I mean, that's part of the cost too, as well, with that. But yeah, going over there, it's good when I get some of the older stuff, and then we divvied everything up and so on and so forth. So it was good. There was like 4 of us that did it. So yeah, that's always a thing. But they were here, so it's a lot easier to do something like that when you have everybody here in the neighborhood or whatever, so to speak, as opposed to like all over the place. That's a lot harder. So on your sealed boxes, Chris, do they scrape off the verification stuff on there too, or do you have that as well? Because some of the online people will do that. You get a sealed box from them, and they'll scrape off the numbers on there. Okay, yeah. Okay, there you go. Because I know that was a big thing. Like, what was it? Some of the other ones, some of the people, you would get a sealed box, and yeah, you get a sealed box, and then they would scratch off the numbers on there. Gotcha. Yeah, maybe it's just from where they source it too, because I think a lot of those guys. I mean, they say that it's in some kind of like a bonded warehouse or something like that, and then somehow they're scratched off, some aren't, so on and so forth. I don't know. What I've been hearing was at the beginning of this whole thing, the shipping times were like horrible. There was like, it took about 2 months to get cigars, and I think things have kind of picked up now, and they've become a lot better. So it takes weeks instead of months. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I think maybe they have a pool. How long did this one take to get to you? This last one, Chris? A couple weeks? Yeah, over a month. Yeah, it just all depends, I think. And maybe, like I said, there's a pool, right? So I think, maybe I have Anna's sources that, they have whatever they do in Switzerland or whatever it is, and then they can source from all these other tobacco shops or whatever all over Europe, and then they just probably give them the order, and they give them a cut or whatever that they get, and then they ship them out from there. I don't know. It's kind of weird how sometimes it takes, like you get from Switzerland, and then it'll go, like you said, Czech Republic. Yes, that's good. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Like they'll have their stuff in their bonded warehouse in Switzerland or whatever, and then you order from their site, and then they may not have them, and then they know other people that will have that stuff, and then they tell them to ship it out or whatever, and so on and so forth. So, and that may be why they scratch the numbers off because of the taxes and stuff like that. Who knows? Got a lot of mountains out there, right? That's kind of inland, Bosnia. A lot of forests and stuff out there. And then when you start getting on the coast, it's a lot different. Like when you start getting out to well, Croatia now, you get the coastline, the Dalmatian coast, I think they call it, with those islands out there. I think those islands are like it's kind of like Ibiza out there. Some of those islands where it's like a kind of a party place where people just like kind of just go wild on that Dalmatian coast and those islands and stuff. Yeah, that's one place where I'd like to go. I'd like to go out that way and check it out. Maybe like go into what is it? You go to Venice and then Trieste, go up Trieste and then go around the corner and then you're into Croatia and all that kind of stuff out there. Yeah, it sounds like California when we get that eddy that comes in here. It just socks it in on the bottom, and then if you get up at any kind of altitude, it's totally sunny. You were over in Iraq. Did you? There's a place. It's called the Tree of Life or something like that. Isn't that in Iraq? Where it's a tree that's in the middle of nowhere in the desert, and it's this huge tree. I think that's in Iraq. I'm not sure. Oh, it's in Bahrain. Okay, so you were in the army. That must have been cool. Checking out all those ruins and stuff. Yeah. I don't know what you meant by that, Chad. First exists anymore or doesn't? Oh, it doesn't exist anymore. Okay. Yeah, that's spelled. Seen a bunch of things that don't exist in Iraq. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, that's crazy, man. I think that's just, no, from the wars and stuff like that. Just, there's quite a few skirmishes that happened over there in Iraq. All different actors in that theater. Probably a combination of everything. That's my guess. A fresh Cuban? Oh, there you go. Work must be going pretty slow right now, Chad. Yeah, the new Hoyos are actually smoking pretty well, and they're young. I mean, traditionally Hoyos have been good young, traditionally, but that Epi 2 that I was smoking the other day, I mean, that's just a good cigar, and it's fresh, like a year old. Some of the Vigueros too, I think that would be a pretty decent fresh cigar to smoke, I would imagine. Not that bad. Um, the Quinteros, fresh, but they're going to be a little bit punchy. But I mean, all in all, I mean, for an enjoyable cigar, for me personally, the Hoyo would probably be the best bet on that. Well, if you get a 50 cab, if you can get a 50 cab of the Epi 2, there'd be a lot of jealous people out there because I'm not sure how many of those are out there and so on and so forth. So if you get a 50 cab, get that. Definitely. A lot of people have been coming on here saying that you really can't get 50s, and I've been saying for the longest time that it makes more sense to them to make 5 boxes of 10 and put a second band on it as opposed to selling 1 box of 50. They can get more money for it. So, I mean, if you can get a 50 cab, load up on that. Forget the 25. Yeah, it's always sad when you got a cab of 50 and you got like 2 left at the bottom. You just got the ribbon and the little paper that they put on the bottom of that thing there, and the spill, the cedar spill that's in there. Yeah, that's always a sad day. But yeah, I mean, in your setup too that you have, cab of 50 down in that basement, and that temperature and that humidity would be perfect, man. Just if you can hold on to them, and you don't have to age those very long. And as you go, yeah, and as you go on that, I mean, I think the cab of 50 would be a better bet all the way around. So you like rye better than bourbon, Chad? Ah, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, bourbon has become the new scotch. Yeah, good luck on that. I don't know. I mean, getting a 50 cab of Raz, I don't know, man. That might be tough. Combine. Okay, so what combined age statement of 30 years? What does that mean? So they're both 15-year-old bottles of bourbon. So they were bottled 15 years ago, roughly, right? So what, 2006? Because once it's out of the barrel, it's done aging. I mean, it doesn't. I mean, if it's in the bottle, it's not aging anymore. Ah, 18 and 12. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot. There's people too that are what they're buying the actual cask, like a cask of bourbon, and then kind of sitting on it, and then they're like taking a little bit out at a time. Like people will go in on it, like they'll do with cigars as well, right? They'll get like 10 guys or gals or 10 people, and they'll buy a cask, and then that's their cask that they do. That's actually pretty cool. There's a Armagnac people that do that. Yeah, barrel. There we go. In Armagnac too, there's a company that does that with Armagnac. They'll go around to all the various Armagnac uh, makers. Yeah. So I don't know. I can't remember what the name of the company is though, but they do it with Armagnac, where they'll buy up all the in the areas in Armagnac. They'll buy up the barrels, casks, whatever you want to call them, and they will bottle. They'll let it sit in there wherever it's at, and then they'll bottle up their Armagnacs on there, and then they have it's pretty expensive though, but I mean Armagnac is well, it's a single distillation process on that, whereas with the cognac they do a double distillation distillation process with cognac, so it's a bit smoother. Armagnac could be a little bit rougher, but Armagnac I think is the better of the two, and it doesn't get as much. Although there's some Armagnacs out there that are just as expensive as cognacs, but Armagnac is definitely one of those ones that kind of flies under the radar because everybody knows brandy cognac, whatever you want to call it, depending on where they bottle it, of course, and produce it. Yeah, I think Willet does something like that with their barrels. I think you can. I think actually what you can do at Willet is you can put in an order. It's overaged. Yeah. Yeah, kind of like when Scotch gets too peaty, right? I mean, but some people like that. They like that really heavy oaky or peaty, depending on what spirit you're drinking. Yeah. Same thing with wines too. Yeah, I think what Highlands Highland is it Highland Scotch? I think the Highland Scotch doesn't have all that peat in it. It's less peaty, so it's a uh, different style of Scotch. But they've been doing Scotch for so long, it's crazy. But ever since I mean, bourbon has become, like I said, it's the new Scotch. It's just, and the price of bourbon has gone up so much. That's a blend too. Johnny Walker, that's all a blend. That's blended Scotch. It's yeah. You got to go into the what the single on the scotches and stuff like that. You should try Balvenie. Balvenie is that Scotch is definitely not like that. Yeah, Johnny Walker's a blend. But Balvenie, because you get Macallan, you can get a 21-year-old Balvenie and a 21-year-old Macallan, which is, I think, the Macallan will be like, I don't know, $450 or $500 for a bottle of Macallan, and then the Balvenie's 21, and it's like around two something. I think you get more bang for your buck with the Balvenie Scotch, and it's not like bug spray. But you know, until recently, a lot of Scotch. I mean, that was like the thing about Scotch was like it was a blend. I mean, everything was a blend, and then over the years they've gone to the yeah, but you'll save some money, Chad, if you get the Balvenie. I'm telling you, you'll get, and they'll be just as impressed with the Balvenie as they will the Macallan. I guarantee it. But back, I mean, the single barrel thing has been a thing not too long as far as I've read. I mean, I could be wrong, but the single barrel is has been a thing for a short period of time. And back before that, it was mostly a blend. They blended the Scotch. Now, I'm not an expert. Uh, Mr. Drone in Singapore is an expert on Scotch. He would have much more of a thought process on that. He came out with a book too, actually, that's just like the Min Ron Nee book, but it's about Scotch and aging Scotch and stuff like that. And he he knows his stuff. His bar in Singapore, I guess. I've never been there, but apparently that bar in Singapore has got thousands of pours. Yeah, because you think like it's Scotch, right? That's been around a lot longer than bourbon. I think they were making bourbon in the 1700s. I think was like the first kind of um, record, I guess. What Evan Williams, I think, did stuff back for bourbon. And that was like in the late 1700s. So we've been at this for what about 200 and something years, and Scotch has been 300-400 years or whatever they've been doing Scotch. So definitely they've been at it a bit longer than we have over here in the America with bourbon. Yeah, let's look that up. Balvenie 21. There it is. Balvenie 21 is going to run you. It's going to run you $200 a bottle. Two something for the Balvenie 21. Macallan is going to run you. Oh, that's interesting. It doesn't say. Oh, that's just a state. That's not it. There we go. Oh, it's not available at Total Wine. Yeah, and that's what's been happening. Like, I guess people, started getting hip to this thing about what 15 years ago, and these liquor stores or whatever it is had these old bottles just sitting on the shelf, and with the old prices on them, and the word has gotten out. So now these liquor stores that have all these old bottles, they're like going online and looking it up, and then yeah, they're hyping the price to like the secondary market price, which is ridiculous. Like that, what is that, Pappy Van Winkle stuff? The original stuff is like going for thousands of dollars a bottle, right? And I hear that the new Pappy is not as good. Um, yeah, Knob Creek. Yeah. And I hear that the new Pappy is not even near the quality of the old Pappy. But a lot of people also say that Pappy is just like kind of one of these things that's just been over talked about, overdone, whatever it is. That's what I've heard. That the old Pappy's like that, you know. But I think that stuff's going for, like, if you get an original bottle of Pappy, I think it's like $5,500 for a bottle of old Pappy. Yeah, that's like crazy. There's the Black Maple Hill too. Like the original bottle of Black Maple Hill bourbon was supposed to be an incredible pour, but I think they started making it again, and the Black Maple Hill is not even near what the old original bottles of Black Maple Hill were. That's another overhyped one, I think. But I'm sure there's some places out there still that have stuff in there that they don't even know what it is. Probably not that many anymore because there's a lot of people hunting down all of these old bottles of bourbon all over the country. So it's really, really hard now because everybody's doing it. And if everybody's doing it, then everybody's doing it. That was the color of money. I would definitely recommend this cigar though. Casa Fernandez Habano Toro. It's a good cigar. Uh, 14K. Holy cow! It's gone up. Jeez Louise. For a bottle of bourbon. That's crazy. Yeah, because who bought them? Was it Buffalo Trace, right? Buffalo Trace bought Pappy Van Winkle. I mean, Buffalo Trace is kind of taking things over. What about Eagle Rare? No? Who bought the name Pappy? Because someone's making Pappy under their flag. So they're made at the Buffalo Distillery, right? Sazerac. Okay. You're not a big fan of Eagle Rare or Buffalo Trace? What about Willet? Have you tried any of the Willet stuff? That's another one that's pretty overhyped as well right now. Yeah, that's for sure. But I can recommend this one. But I don't know if you like it. I mean, this isn't a punchy, really punchy cigar, though. This cigar definitely fits the bill for me, though. Gotcha. Well, these aren't going to break the bank, these Aganorsa leaves. Neither of these either. These signatures are not going to break the bank. And it's a good smoke. It's a good solid smoke. Aganorsa Leaf's been putting out some good stuff, and it's cheap, which is good. Oof. Oh, you like okay? So this one here, they make a Maduro on this one. It's the silver. foiled one. This is a natural. I think it's considered a natural on that. So the silver ones of these are Maduros. And I think they'll, I don't know exactly how much they are. At brick and mortar, they're probably going to be about $8, somewhere around there, I think, depending on where you're at. I think out here in California, they might be 10. You could probably pick them up on. So this is the Aganorsa Leaf Signature Selection. That's what this one is. And they have a Maduro. The Maduro is the silver, and this is the gold, which is, I think, the natural on this. And then this other one was the Casa Fernandez, right here. And it's Aganorsa Leaf, Casa Fernandez, Aganorsa Leaf, Habano. Yeah, and the Aganorsa Leaf stuff, I mean, it's kind of been flying under the radar. Plasencia is the one that's kind of got all the hype right now. And to me personally, the Plasencias, they're more expensive. And you get more bang for your buck with the Aganorsa Leaf stuff. And it's fairly similar, I think, in my opinion. But, that's just me talking. I'm working too right now. I'm actually trying to pick up a trip, but there's nothing. Nothing that I want to do. That's for sure. I had, what is it? Was it Pravada contacted me. They wanted to. I'm not a member of any cigar club. What was your experience with Pravada and luxury? I know Pravada, they give you a paper with pairings and all that kind of stuff in there. I don't know much about luxury. I'm sure it's probably the same kind of a thing with it as well. And there's a guy that comes on here, Ron Reel. He has Black Lion Luxury Cigar Club that he does as well. There's a bunch of them out there. You get some pretty good value in them. And then they have different tiers that they do as well. I don't know how many cigars you smoke in a month. Well, usually you get, about 5 cigars in the box. And they do a good. I know Pravada does a pretty good write-up. I did some research on them and stuff, but I haven't done any cigar clubs or anything like that. But like I said, Ron comes on here. I haven't seen him. Normally when I do it on the weekend, he's on here. Yeah, they pick a bunch of stuff, like a bunch of limited stuff, and kind of like what Small Batch. I think Small Batch does. They just started up again a cigar club, Small Batch Cigar. They did it. They started it again. A lot of people say good things about Small Batch. Yeah, and they just did the Cinnabon one that got banned in all the brick and mortars too. Because it was some kind of a copyright or something like that. Yeah, they definitely have a cachet with what they do with them picking stuff up and everything like that. I actually made a recommendation for them to get to do the La Aurora, 100 Años, Bellicoso. You can still find those, and those cigars are what now? 2003. They're 18 years old, and you can still find them in brick and mortar shops all over the place. And that cigar smoking. I mean, back when I had a bunch of them, they were really good. Yeah, and then, that way you get to taste different things and see how things are. It's pretty good. All right, well, I think it's time. I'm only going to do one cigar today, and I am going to check out. But thanks for joining in on the stream here, and I'm going to get going and get something to eat. So, anyway, I have rambled on enough, and that's enough out of me. We'll talk to you guys later.